Your food is too spicy. Americans won't eat this. Your restaurant will fail in 6 months. Why don't you just get a normal job? Everyone told Negassi no. Everyone said his dream was impossible. But today, Negassi owns 3 restaurants in Washington, D.C. Last year, his business made over $1 million. This is the story of how he proved everyone wrong. Negassi grew up in Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. His family was not rich, but his mother was an amazing cook. Every evening, their small home filled with the smell of doro wat, a spicy chicken stew. Neighbors would stop by just to smell the food cooking. One day, his mother would say, "Our food will make us famous." Negassi loved watching his mother cook. She never used recipes or measuring cups. She cooked by feeling, by taste, by memory. Her hands moved quickly, mixing spices like an artist mixing paint. But cooking didn't pay the bills. His father worked as a taxi driver. His mother sold vegetables at the market. Money was always tight. Negassi had 5 younger siblings. There was never enough. When Negassi was 23, his uncle who lived in America invited him to Washington, D.C. "Come," his uncle said on the phone. "There are opportunities here. You can build a better life." Negassi made a difficult decision. He left Ethiopia with 1 suitcase and $300. He left his mother's cooking. He left everything familiar. America was shocking. The buildings were so tall. The streets were so clean. Everything moved so fast. Negassi felt lost and small in this enormous city. His first job was washing dishes at an Italian restaurant. The pay was $9 per hour. The work was hard. His hands turned red and raw from the hot water and chemicals. He worked 10-hour shifts, 6 days a week. But Negassi was observant. He watched everything. He noticed how the restaurant operated. He saw how they managed inventory. He learned how they handled customers. He studied the menu prices and calculated profit margins in his head. After 1 year of washing dishes, Negassi got promoted to prep cook. He chopped vegetables and prepared ingredients. The pay increased to $11 per hour. After another year, he became a line cook. He actually cooked the food that customers ate. The pay was $13 per hour. During these 3 years, Negassi lived extremely frugally. He shared a basement apartment with 4 other Ethiopian immigrants. He ate simple food. He never bought things he didn't need. Every month, he saved at least half his paycheck. But something bothered Negassi. Every day at the Italian restaurant, he saw customers paying $25 for a simple pasta dish, $30 for chicken, $40 for steak. "Why do people pay so much?" he asked the head chef one day. "Because it's good," the chef said. "And because the atmosphere is nice. People don't just pay for food. They pay for an experience." Negassi started thinking. Ethiopian food was delicious. The spices were complex and exciting. The coffee ceremony was beautiful and special. But in Washington, D.C., there were very few Ethiopian restaurants. And the ones that existed were small and hidden. An idea started growing in Negassi's mind. What if he opened an Ethiopian restaurant? Not a small takeout place. A real restaurant. A beautiful space where Americans could discover Ethiopian cuisine and culture. He started researching. He visited every Ethiopian restaurant in D.C. He talked to owners. He asked questions. He learned about costs and challenges. The more he learned, the more excited he became. But also more nervous. Opening a restaurant required money. A lot of money. Negassi had saved $18,000 over 3 years. But he needed at least $60,000 to open a restaurant. He needed money for rent deposit and first 3 months, $12,000. Kitchen equipment and appliances, $20,000. Furniture, plates and decor, $8,000. Initial food inventory and supplies, $5,000. Licenses, permits and insurance, $4,000. Marketing and website, $3,000. Emergency fund for slow months, $8,000. Total $60,000. Negassi needed $42,000 more. He went to banks. He created a detailed business plan. He showed his savings. He explained Ethiopian food culture. He talked about the growing interest in African cuisine. But every bank rejected him. Ethiopian food is too niche, they said. You have no experience running a business, they said. The restaurant industry has a high failure rate, they said. Negassi felt discouraged. He was 26 years old, working in someone else's kitchen, watching his dream slip away. Then he remembered something his mother told him. If one door closes, look for a window. Negassi decided to try a different approach. He started a small catering business from his apartment. On weekends, he cooked Ethiopian food for events, parties, and small gatherings. He advertised on social media and through the Ethiopian community. His first catering job was for 20 people. He made $300 profit. His second job was for 40 people. $500 profit. Word spread quickly. Americans loved the unique flavors. The spicy Berber seasoning. The tangy injera bread. The aromatic coffee ceremony. Within 6 months, Negassi was catering 2 or 3 events every weekend. He was making an extra $2,000 per month. But more importantly, he was building something valuable, a customer base and a reputation. After 1 year of catering, Negassi had saved an additional $15,000. He now had $33,000 total. He also had something else, proof. He had dozens of 5-star reviews online. He had photos of happy customers. He had evidence that Americans loved Ethiopian food. If you're enjoying Negassi's inspiring journey and learning useful English vocabulary, please take just 1 second to subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps us share more amazing African stories with English learners like you. Thank you. Now let's see what Negassi does next. Negassi tried the banks again. This time, he showed them his catering business records. He showed his revenue growth. He showed his customer reviews and social media following. One bank finally said yes. They offered him a small business loan of $25,000 at 8% interest. Negassi also reached out to his community. 3 Ethiopian friends believed in his vision. Each invested $5,000 for a small share in the future restaurant. Now Negassi had $63,000, $33,000 from his savings and catering, $25,000 from the bank loan, $15,000 from investors. He was ready. Negassi found a location in Adams Morgan, a diverse neighborhood in Washington, D.C. The rent was $3,000 per month. It was expensive, but the area had lots of foot traffic and young professionals who loved trying new foods. The next 4 months were intense. Negassi worked his day job at the Italian restaurant, then spent evenings and weekends building his own restaurant. He painted walls. He assembled furniture. He trained 2 cooks his mother sent from Ethiopia. He named the restaurant Habesha House. Habesha is what Ethiopians call themselves. The restaurant was a love letter to his culture. Opening night was terrifying. What if nobody came? What if people didn't like the food? What if he failed and lost everything? But Negassi didn't fail. The restaurant was packed. 50 customers came the first night, then 70 the second night. By the end of the first week, there was a waiting list for tables. Food bloggers wrote reviews. Instagram posts went viral. Local newspapers featured the restaurant. People loved not just the food, but the whole experience. The traditional coffee ceremony, the colourful mezob baskets, the communal eating style with injera. In the first month, Habesha House made $28,000 in revenue. After expenses, Negassi had a profit of $4,000. The second month was even better. $35,000 in revenue, $7,000 in profit. Negassi worked 18-hour days. He was the chef, the manager, the marketer, everything. It was exhausting. but it was his dream. 1 year after opening, Habisha House was one of the top-rated restaurants in Washington, D.C. Negassi had paid back his bank loan completely. He had paid his investors their money back plus 25% return. 2 years after opening, Negassi opened a second location in Georgetown, then a third location in Capitol Hill. Today, 5 years later, Negassi employs 43 people across his 3 restaurants. 20 of them are Ethiopian immigrants who needed their first job in America. His annual revenue exceeds $1 million. Last year, Negassi brought his mother to America. She cried when she saw what her son had built. "I told you," she said, hugging him. "I told you our food would make us famous." Negassi still cooks in the kitchen several days a week. Not because he has to, but because he loves it. The same spices his mother used in their small home in Addis Ababa now fill 3 restaurants in the capital of the United States. The people who said Ethiopian food was too spicy, they were wrong. The people who said Americans wouldn't eat it, they were wrong. The people who said his restaurant would fail, they were very wrong. Negassi proved that when you combine passion, hard work, and belief in yourself, you can turn a dream into reality. Sometimes the impossible just needs someone brave enough to try. If you want another calm African story to improve your English, the next one is already waiting. Just tap one on the screen. Vocabulary list. 1. Spicy. Having a strong, hot flavor from peppers or spices. Example: Ethiopian food is known for being spicy. 2. Tight. When talking about money, it means there isn't much available. Example: money was always tight in his family. 3. Opportunity, a chance to do something good or make progress. Example: his uncle said there were opportunities in America. 4. Familiar, something you know well, not strange. Example: he left everything familiar behind. 5. Observant, paying careful attention to details. Example: Negassi was very observant in the restaurant. 6. Inventory, all the products and supplies a business has. Example: he learned how they managed inventory. 7. Profit margin, the difference between what something costs and what you sell it for. Example: he calculated profit margins in his head. 8. Promoted, given a better job or position at work. Example: he got promoted from dishwasher to prep cook. 8. Frugally, spending money very carefully, not wasting money. Example: he lived extremely frugally to save money. 10. Atmosphere, the mood or feeling of a place. Example: people pay for the nice atmosphere. 11. Cuisine, a style of cooking from a particular country or region. Example: he wanted Americans to discover Ethiopian cuisine. 12. Niche, a specialized segment of the market, very specific. Example: the bank said Ethiopian food was too niche. 13. Failure rate, the percentage of businesses that fail. Example: restaurants have a high failure rate. 14. Catering, providing food service for events and parties. Example: he started a small catering business. 15. Customer base, the group of customers who regularly buy from a business. Example: he was building a customer base. 16. Reputation, what people think about a person or business. Image. Example: he built a good reputation through catering. 17. Proof, evidence that shows something is true. Example: he had proof that Americans loved the food. 18. Revenue, the total money a business receives from sales. Example: his revenue growth impressed the bank. 19. Loan, money borrowed from a bank that must be repaid with interest. Example: the bank offered him a loan of $25,000. 20. Interest, extra money you pay when you borrow or earn when you save. Example: the loan had 8% interest. 21. Investor, A person who puts money into a business to earn profit later. Example, 3 friends became investors in the restaurant. 22. Share. A portion of ownership in a business. Example, each investor got a small share of the restaurant. 23. Foot traffic. The number of people walking past or through an area. Example, the location had lots of foot traffic. 24. Communal, shared by a group of people. Example, Ethiopian dining has a communal eating style. 25. Revenue, total income from business sales before expenses. Example, the restaurant made $28,000 in revenue. 26. Profit, money remaining after paying all business costs. Example, his profit in the first month was $4,000. 27. Return, the profit made from an investment. Example, investors got a 25% return. 28. Annual, happening once per year. Yearly. Example, his annual revenue exceeds $1 million. Go ahead and tap on the screen for your next story. Also, check out our playlist for a variety of stories.